Hi guys, I'm Styx and welcome along to my UC Warrior build video. After my tour video the other day, some of you guys asked for a build guide, and against my better judgment I've gone and done it anyway. So I'm not a content creator, nor will I ever be, and this being only my second video and probably 10 times more complicated and time consuming than my first one, it's probably going to be my last. I haven't any fancy capture card or any equipment like that, and this video was made by cut and stitching 60 plus Xbox vids together, so please don't hold it against me for the unprofessional jank in this one. Hopefully though it's going to be detailed and informative enough for you guys to follow along and be successful in your build. Before we start, I would recommend you have ship build perk level 4 and piloting level 3 or class C. If you really want, I suppose you could use A or B parts, but for this video and the design I'm going to be using a class C reactor, mainly because of the power output. You will also need a donor ship and around 350,000 credits. So let's get into the build. I'm starting off in the Deimos Star Yard. You'll need to start here too with your donor ship. I've got some Varun ship here that I've chopped up to bits and just kept the bare essentials that we're going to need to make it fly. We're going to start in the build menu now and get in our parts. We're going to want the 3x2 mess hall and the 3x2 cargo hall, and we're just going to stick this on the back pad of our ship. We're just going to use it as a taxi really to ferry everything over to Strauss-Eklund, where we'll do our build. The next hab that we're going to be taking is the 2x2 battle stations. And the 2x2 brig. Stick them anywhere, it doesn't really matter, just as long as they all come with you. The next one is the 2x2 computer core. And the 2x2 engineering bay. Now we're going to start on the 2x1s here now. That happened a bit quick. It's the 2x1 control station and the 2x1 armory. The next two we're going to take is the 2x1 infirmary and the 2x1 workshop, which will stick over the other side. So that one's the infirmary. And the last one is the workshop. Now we're going to get the awesome DS 402 Ares bridge. Just delete the one that was on your ship. Now these we're going to need 5 tail A sections. And we're going to need 5 skeg A sections. For some reason I laid 5 out and then I duplicated loads from the first one. But we only need 5. I'll delete the excess. Now from the build menu we're going to take 6 wing E sections. Now just stick them anywhere where you can find a spot. It doesn't really matter, just as long as they come with us. Now you want to delete the docker that you had with your donor ship, and we want to get the slim Deimos docker. We'll stick that underneath just because it'll be easier to make the ship work. And that's it from Deimos. So make our way now over to Strauss-Eckland with our Frankenstein ship. Now I don't recommend you come combat sliding in and go to pick Havishaw's pockets like I just nearly did, otherwise it's not going to end very well for the build. Right, into the build menu. For the purpose of the film and just for ease of location, I'm going to put all of the parts that we've brought over from Deimos into its relevant piles, just so it's easier to locate. Don't forget to keep the docker from underneath. We're also going to need 2 1x1 companionways that we'll stack into our pile. And once I've finished having a micro brain fart here, I'll eventually pick a 3x1 all-in-one. And the last tab we're going to be using is the 2x1 captain's quarters. We're using them from Strauss-Eckland because they're going to be on top of the ship, and it's to keep continuity with the hull of the ship. We're going to need the Strauss-Eckland loading bay. I had one with my donor ship. If you didn't have one with yours, you'll need to get one. We're going to put down the cargo hall, and we're going to add the loading bay onto the middle of that, and then we're going to get our companionway and put it on the opposite side in the center. Then we're going to take our other 3x2, which is the mess hall, and we're going to put it directly opposite. Then we're going to take our 2x2 engineering bay and put it at the far end of our cargo hall. And then on the opposite side we're going to take the 2x2 living quarters and put that on the other side. And we're going to place our second companionway on top of the first, and we're going to place our docking bay underneath the bottom. This just seems to help with the build to make sure that we've got the one ladder running from top to bottom and they don't get them start sprouting all over the place. We're now going to take our 2x2 battle stations and put that at the front above our cargo bay. And the 2x2 brig we're going to place directly behind it. On the opposite side we're going to place the 2x2 computer core. And now we're going to take our 2x1s, starting with the infirmary, and we're going to place that at the back next to the brig. And we're going to take our workshop and place that right next to the infirmary. And then last on this section, we're going to take the armory and place it to fill in the blank there. We're now going to take the 2x1 control station and put it in front of the companionway. Take the 3x1 all-in-one and place it level with the other ones at the front, at the top. And our last one, we're going to take the 2x1 captain's quarters and put it at the end of that, so it should be sticking out level with all the ones at the end. Now we're going to go into the build menu and select the Acculander. This can be rotated into 3 different shapes, which is the center one that we're using now. And we're going to go underneath. And we're going to put 3 in the center. The first one's right at the back. We're going to copy it rather than go into the build menu again, and we're going to leave a space, and we're going to put one up against the companionway underneath next to the docker. We're going to copy another one and then place it on the other side of the docker. Now we're going to select a mid bracer, and fill in the gap underneath between the 2 Acculanders. Now we're going to go back to the build menu and select the Acculander again. And make sure it's rotated in, it's the right one, so rotate through them until you've got the one for the relevant side. And we're not going to place it at the back, we're going to come one in and place that there, then we're going to copy another one and do the same on the opposite side. Make sure we rotate it. I'm going to copy it again and place one right at the front, and copy it again and do the same on the other side. So we've got 2 on the outsides and 3 in the center. Now if you go into the build menu and select the cowlings, this cowling can be used for top, bottoms, left and right, so it's just rotated round for dependent on which way you want to have it. Fill in the gap that side, don't put one at the back, and 2 on this side. We only need 1 on the opposite side because we've got the lander on that side. Now we're going to go to the build menu and select the cap A aft, which is those curved wedge shaped things. We need the rear ones. You want to rotate it so it's upside down and flat, and we'll fill in these 2 back squares with these caps. It should look a little something, well, it should look exactly like this. Now we're going to select the mid bracers again. We'll go to the front and we're going to fill in this channel from front to back, but we're not going to go all the way to the back over the end of the cap. We're going to stop when we get to that level there, and then we're going to go one in. So you still have that bit sticking out the end. And then we're going to repeat mirror image it onto the other side. Right, now once we've done that, we're going to select the cowling 3LAs, which is the large cowling, and we're going to need 6 of these. We're going to go right to the front, and we're going to interlock them, so front to back, back to front, from the center going out, and the same on the opposite side. Now we're going to, rather than go to the build menu, I'm copying the cap A rears or afts from underneath there. We're going to need 4 of these now, and these are going to go behind the 3LAs, 2 on each side. Just like so. Now we're going to select a new part, which is the cap B aft. It's not the mid bracer, it's got a curve to it. I'm just going to select a couple of these a second. And I'm going to select another 2 of the 1x1 cowling pieces. We're just going to fill in these 2 little slots here. Now we're going to paste the cap B afts with the curve facing inwards in these 2 spots. I'm not going to put that one down just yet, because now we need to select some parts: engine, grav drive and fuel tank. Ignore that grav drive for a minute, it's incorrect. But we're going to select the pinch 8Z Granddaddy reactor, and I'm selecting the 900T fuel tank. You don't have to have this one. I think there's one that's a little bit less fuel consumption, but it's 10 less mass, so it's entirely up to you. But I'm going with the big one. And we're going to place this over on the right hand side in that area there. Now if you've never done this before, if you select this part, any part that can be rotated can glitch over the top of another part. All you do is place it in place and rotate it through its cycle a couple of times, and then rather than pressing A, you'll press B or cancel, and it will lock into place just the same as if it was green. So rotate it and then cancel, and there we go, it's glitched over the top of the fuel tank, hiding the fuel tank. And we'll just copy another one to make it symmetrical the other side. It doesn't need to be glitched because there's nothing there. We're going to remove the rear acculander because we're going to hide the pinch reactor up in this hole here. Now there's a little skip. You're going to need another aft B for the top slot, and then we're going to put we can't put the acculander in there now yet because there's nowhere for it to snap to. So we're going to glitch another aft B part in the top one. Just like so. I skipped it, but hopefully you understand what it is. You glitch the aft B part in first, and then the acculander underneath. Just make sure you rotate it. And now I've selected the correct grav drive. It's the RD3000 Class B grav drive, and we're going to take it to the front of the ship. And we're going to remove the acculander right at the front center. put our reactor and grav drive, into place, and put the Acculander back over the top, go through the cycle of rotation, and then press B to cancel, and it'll snap into place, hidden the grav drive for us. Now it's time to select our engines. We're going with the SAE 5660 engines, and we're going to need 4 of these. I've experimented with several of the engines, and aesthetically and performance wise these are the best for the build. We're going to start with the outsides. We're going to place it on top of the little lip that we've got left. Then we're going to leave a space and put one on the right and one on the left, so there should be a space in between each one of the engines. Now these Deimos tail end pieces, this has got to be done in this sequence, because only the wingy sections can be rotated, and you need to glitch build them in over the top. So we're going to put the first 3 on, which will go on the same level as the engines, and then the last 2 go above the 2 center engines, 1 level higher. Now we're going to take our 5 skeg sections and we're going to put them underneath. There's 5 slots across the bottom of the ship where they all go. 3 underneath the tail A sections and 2 underneath the center engines, but they're all in a straight line across the bottom. And finally, for the back end, we're going to take our tail E sections and we're going to put them in place, rotate them twice, and then press B to make them stay. So place, go through the rotation, and then back out. If for any reason they're struggling to stick, just place it back down on the build table, pick it back up and do it again. It should work. There, and now our engine section is done. Now we've got to place the top cap on the hull. So we need to select caps A. We want 2 front and 2 rear. And we're going to want the cap B wedges. We need 1 aft and 1 forward. So we'll start with the center wedge. We'll place that down. And we'll put the front one on. Neither of these 2 need glitching in place, they just snap normally. We're going to take the 1 front piece. This doesn't need glitching either. The rear ones do though, so put it into place, go through the rotation cycle until you've got it into the right orientation that you want, and then just press B. And then we're going to copy the left side to the right side, and the same again with the back one, put it into place, cycle through and back out, and then the front one should just snap normally. Should. There, and that's the rear of the ship completed. Now we're going to select the nose cap C for the front, starting on the front build. And the cap, that's the cap A. This is the nose cap C. It's the one with the curve. Then we're going to copy the top one and just flip and rotate it so we can put it on the bottom. And mirror copy it over to the other side. Copy the cap B. There, once we've done that, we're going to go to build menu and structures and select 2 weapon mounts. Now we're going to place these in the center on the inside of the cap Bs. Now we're going to go to the weapons menu, and not for these locations, but I'm going to first select 3 times PB50s that we'll be putting on in a minute. These are 4 power, so we can only have 3 of these. You could select another weapon with 3 power, so you could have 4 of them. It's entirely up to you, but you'll lose a suppressor. We've only got the option for 8 weapon slots in this build, just because we're maxed out on build parts. Now we're going to select 4 PBO 175 auto neutron beams, I think, or helion beams, and we're going to put these in the weapon mounts that we placed a second ago. So 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Now we're going to encase these with the glitch. Copy those 3 sections, and then we're going to flip rotate them. Put them into position, go through the rotate, and then press B. Same with the nose. And they're pretty cool. It comes out of that hole at the front when you're firing your weapons. It looks pretty smart. And then the same on the left side. If you copy a part and you're going to glitch it in place, you need to place it down on the build table first, otherwise it'll just keep disappearing if you come across that. You have to place it on the build table first if you've copied it. And now we're going to take another 2 weapon mounts and we're going to place them on the left and right hand side at the front of our control station. And place the 3 PB50s on 3 of the mounts. Now, because these weapons are quite powerful, and I've got one more slot available. I've selected the Firebolt 3000 suppressor, which when I'm trying to commandeer a ship is usually enough to take out the engine successfully when it's fully powered. Sorry, the Firebolt 4000 suppressor, Class B. And then put that in the last remaining weapon slot. Now we're going to take our Ares bridge and we're going to place that on the end of our control station. Now we need to copy the cap A's and the cap B's. Three for the left, three for the right. And now we're going to glitch place them into position around the bridge. And same on the left side. Now for the remaining two slots, we're going to select the wedges that we put on the back. Which is the nose cap B. We want one top and then rotate the second one around so it's upside down. The top one will need to be glitch built in, so put it in place, rotate it back out. And the one underneath will just snap normally, it'll go green, so just press A. It should. Force a habit from pressing B. He gets there eventually. There, and we're done. So you should look like this. Now for shields, we haven't placed a shield yet, so I recommend one of three, and it's entirely up to you, dependent on how much power you've got and various things. I personally select the SG 1800 C-Class shield, it's the strongest, but another two options, you could have the Vanguard Bulwark or the slightly less SG 80, which is an A-Class shield. They're all pretty good shields in their own right, but I've gone with the C-Class SG 1800. I think it does take up maximum power slots for that big shield, but I've got plenty of spare power on my build, so they're going to be dependent on how much reactor perk and bonuses that you've got and stuff. So we're going to take it, you can place this literally nearly anywhere. We're going to remove a piece of the coal in from somewhere. I'm going to take this back A section off just here. Just remove it a second. Place our shield down. And then we're just going to glitch this back in place but over the top. So put it into place, go through the rotation cycle, and then press B and back out, and it will stay there covering the shield. Nice and sleek. And that's it, that's done here. Now I advise you back out and give it a save before you leave Havershore, and we're going to jump in the ship or fast travel, and we're going to go over to the Sol system. And we're going to head on over to Titan. We want to go to the remnants of the Nova Galactic Star Yard for the final bit of wings. Now it's the Nova Cowling 2L. We're going to want one triangle, 2 center sections, and then a rear triangle for both sides. This should go on the last slot right up at the end of the engine, and then 2 center sections. Now copy these pieces and move them over to the other side. They just need to be rotated. Now, once you've placed this final part and we're finished, if you go to the build menu and try and select another part, you should get this message saying that you've hit maximum parts and you've done everything correctly. Then we're maxed out on the last part. Now, I don't know whether you know this, but you can select the whole ship by pressing LB for the fun part of painting, and select all of the parts just for ease. Some people might not know about it. And you can go in afterwards and then individually change individual parts, but just for ease of and speed, it's easier to select the whole ship and go through it like that. I've given it a bit of hint of purple on this one. Looks quite nice. But you can obviously play around and do exactly whatever colours you want to do on yours. Make sure when you've finished painting your ship and you're happy with it that you do a save when you back out. And that's it, guys. So I hope you were successful building your ship, and thanks very much for watching.